FATF, Financial Action Task Force, was set up by a large bunch of countries in 1989. At that point, maybe the driving force was to go after criminal money laundering. Global mafias, criminal money laundering, global terrorism had not become such a big thing. But over time, this has also become a primary sort of body which controls terror financing. India has been a member of it. Its headquarters in Paris. Its plenary year is 1st July to 30th June every year. Every year, it has 3 meetings in a plenary year, one in February, one in June, one in October. Now, under this, another group has been set up, which is called Asia Pacific Group, APG. That is like a sub-regional group of FATF. That group especially takes care of the region to which we belong. Pakistan belongs, our region belongs. The permanent chairman of that group is Australia. There is always a co-chair that rotates. That right now is Bangladesh. So those are the basic facts. Now, what does FATF do? FATF assesses various countries, all countries, on 40 parameters. 40 parameters. So a country has to be compliant with most of the 40 parameters or all of the 40 parameters to be on whitelist. Now, most countries in the world right now are on whitelist. If you are really wanting in many areas, but still trying or still not fully or maybe not obstinately non-compliant, then you are put on what is called as the grey list. So at this point, 9 countries are on the grey list. I will come to that. And if you are found to be hopeless and making no improvements, then you are put on the blacklist. That means big trouble. That means, effectively, that means global sanctions when it comes to financial transactions with your country. It can wreck your country economically. That is what Imran is worried about. So right now, 2 countries in the world are on the FATF blacklist. Which are these countries? Iran and North Korea. Only 2 countries. But 9 others are on what is called as the grey list, which is usual suspects. Clean up your act or we might put you on the blacklist. And they are constantly under watch. And for different reasons, and I will explain to you why I say different reasons. So I'm going alphabetically. Bahamas, Botswana, Cambodia, Ethiopia, Ghana, Pakistan, Panama, Sri Lanka, Syria, Tunisia, Yemen, the fighting is going on there, and Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I said different reasons because if you look at some of these, say Bahamas, say Trinidad and Tobago, maybe even Panama, these are places which are tax havens and which are not compliant even with the new regulations that the global community is now enforcing on tax havens. That's the reason you saw Panama Papers. Why Panama Papers? Because Panama provides tax haven, and these tax havens then allow illegal money to be parked there or money to be laundered there. So some of these countries are in trouble because of that. Others are in trouble because of terror financing. Now, Pakistan, for example, is a good example of a country which is in trouble because of terror financing. So these 9 countries are on the grey list. Now, challenge for Pakistan is, next week, does it get out of the grey list? Does it get on the blacklist? If you ask me, I see the chance of Pakistan going on the blacklist 0, for many reasons. Number 1, compared to the past, Pakistan has made some improvements. Pakistan, or seem to have made some improvements. Pakistan was put on the grey list in June 2018 and given just about a year to clean up its act. Now it will be assessed. The current reports tell you that it has made some improvements, but not enough. Where do we get those current reports from? We get those from APG, that is the Asia Pacific Group that I spoke about just earlier. Its report came out last Saturday, became public in India on Monday. It says that it doesn't let Pakistan off the hook. It says that of the 40 parameters, Pakistan is fully compliant on just 1 parameter. I will tell you which one. Fully compliant on 1, mostly compliant on 9, partly compliant or work in progress on 26. So 1, 9, 26. How many remain? 1 plus 9, 10 and 26, 36. 4 remain. On the remaining 4, it is fully non-compliant. So Pakistan has to clean up its act in those areas. That report has now come out. This will be the basis of discussions at the FATF task force meeting in Paris. Paris is the headquarters of FATF. Now, I told you which ones I will try and explain to you which one Pakistan is not compliant on and which one it is. So the one parameter on which Pakistan is fully compliant now, according to APG, which is a regional grouping of FATF, it's a certificate of good conduct. That is financial institution secrecy laws. On that, Pakistan is now seen to be fully compliant. There are 4 others where Pakistan is seen to be completely non-compliant. And what are these? One is transparency and beneficial ownership of legal arrangements. So that means people can put a veil in front of them. You can put a corporate veil, as they say in corporate law. You can put an individual veil. An organization can be called something else, but doing something else. So there is no transparency of beneficial ownership and legal arrangements. That means if there's an organization, who is the real owner of the organization? So you can hide that. Completely non-compliant. Number 2, regulation and supervision of what is called as DNFBPs. The entire global system loves acronyms. So this is, I think, among the most complex acronyms I have seen lately. Again, I've got my young colleague Srijan Shukla to research this and tell me what this is. This is designated non-financial businesses and professions. Now, this is a euphemism for crooks, terrorists and thieves. It says designated non-financial businesses and professions. So what are businesses and professions which are non-financial but are dealing with finance? They are terrorists, crooks, mafiosi, etc., etc. So on their regulation and supervision, also Pakistan is fully non-compliant. Third issue on which they are non-compliant, again, is to do with the same dreaded acronym, DNFBPs, that is designated non-financial businesses and professions. Pakistan is also non-compliant on other measures which have been prescribed to control and regulate or punish or stop these organizations. And the fourth, Pakistan is fully non-compliant on mutual legal assistance. Remember, if a terror attack takes place in India, do the Pakistanis help you fully legally? I'm simplifying it, but that's what it means. Freezing and confiscation of illegal assets from money laundering and terror financing. This comes up all the time. Pakistan claims we banned Jaish and we banned Lashkar, we frozen their assets, but the Financial Action Task Force is completely unconvinced of that. So one point they are compliant on, which is financial institution secrecy laws, and the 4 others I have listed for you, and you can read them behind me, on which Pakistan is fully non-compliant. So there is work to do. Now, why do I say that it's unlikely, while Pakistan will get a rap on the knuckles, but it is unlikely that Pakistan will be blacklisted? One, because Pakistan is too important and too big a country to be blacklisted. Because if you blacklist Pakistan, it's one thing to blacklist Iran, which I think is a very big thing also. But to blacklist Pakistan, it's a nuclear weapons country. It has such a large Muslim population. It is geographically positioned in such an important place. It has friends. It is not friendless. China is its great friend. And don't forget also, that's the final point, all the individuals don't matter so much. Final point in my argument that Pakistan is unlikely to be, most unlikely, almost zero chance of being put on the blacklist, is also, it's one of the points, it's not the key point because individuals don't matter so much, but the chairperson of the FATF this year is a Chinese. He is Changmin Liu of China. So most unlikely that under the watch of a Chinese chairman, FATF is going to put Pakistan on the blacklist. Plus, everybody knows the consequences of it. I think Pakistan is going to get a rap on the knuckles because Pakistan has now been told that they have to change many things. And in fact, if you read up the stuff that APG has said about Pakistan, a Pakistani would worry, for example, and would worry for their own reasons because, first of all, terrorism is a threat for everybody. Second, money laundering is a threat for everybody. Imran Khan has been talking about money laundering. Even in his UN speech, he said Pakistan's wealth is being taken away by corrupt people. So one of the things that APG report says, listen to me, they say Pakistan's two main regulators, that is State Bank of Pakistan, which is like Reserve Bank of India, financial regulator, and SEC of Pakistan, that is Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, which is the equivalent of Indian SEBI. It says that SBP and SECP, that is State Bank of Pakistan and Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, have very limited understanding of money laundering and terror financing. So there is a lot of work to do. I think what Pakistan is going to get, as I said, a rap on the knuckles, and one, like an errant schoolboy, another bit of homework to do and ask itself to present the next time. I do hope it helps you understand this whole FATF business, or what Imran Khan calls Fatf business, because this will be in the headlines for a long time, and I suspect many would be wondering what is all this about. I know that you like watching our YouTube channel. I see more and more viewers coming and watching, and more and more of you responding. So please do subscribe to our channel unless you've already done so, and please do ask your family and friends to do so, because we are adding new features all the time, and going ahead we'll be adding a lot in Hindi as well.